This season, Simon completed 5 games, but it's been 14 minutes. Simon scored her first career point for the team win over Spartanburg on December 18th. Katie is accompanied by her dad, Derek Simon. Her mother, Lana Simon, her sister, Casey Simon, and her grandmother, Patricia Carter. All right.
It's the final weekend of the regular season, and we have a key American Athletic Conference matchup for you here in Houston. It's the UCF Knights facing the Houston Cougars, and it's coming up next here on ADN. And a very pleasant good afternoon, everybody. We welcome you to the H&PE Arena on the campus of Texas Southern University, the home away from home for the Houston Cougars here in the 2017-18 basketball season. And today, the Cougars play host to the UCF Knights in American Athletic Conference women's basketball action. And hello again, everybody. I'm Tom Brankin alongside Angela Beck, the coach. And, Coach, it's that crunch time of the season. Final weekend. Seedings for the upcoming American Athletic Conference tournament are in play. UConn and UCF have sewed up two of the first-round matchups, but one of these teams today can easily get one of the next two in third and fourth place. UCF coming in at 10-4 on the season, Houston at 9-5.
Well, that's right, Tom. Houston is at home here with a high-octane offense. They score 75 points or more a game. They're facing UCF with one of the great defenses in the country, in the top 10, and they're going to try to limit them to under 54 points like they have every opponent this year. But, Tom, if you don't rebound and you don't limit your turnovers, you're not going to win this game.
Well, since you started talking about rebounding and turnovers, let's talk about keys to today's ball game. For those UCF Knights, what's it going to take for them to win number 11?
Well, number one, they got to stop the high-octane offense, but get back in transition, and they got to limit their fouls. They can't have any of their key players in foul trouble.
Meanwhile, the Houston Cougars looking to get into double digits. They're sitting at 9-5 on the year. How do they do it?
Well, they're going to face a very stingy 3-2 zone, so they've got to attack the basket, and they got to shoot the three once they enter the floor.
A couple of key players to watch for each team in today's ball game. First of all, for the visiting UCF Knights, it's their fifth-year senior, and that is Zakiya Saunders.
Well, Z Saunders, she's the coach on the floor. She's been with Coach Abe longer than anyone. She's always smiling. She shoots the three. She's got the mid-range game. And by the way, she averages 5.3 rebounds a game.
Meanwhile, the Houston Cougars have a couple of Harrises that are lightning out of the backcourt. The one we want you to watch today is sophomore Angela Harris.
Well, you've heard about Jasmine Harris, but you better be talking about Angela Harris. She's got three straight 20-point games, and folks, she's dialed in. She's number one in the American in steals, and she averages 5.5 rebounds a game.
Should be a great contest today. High-octane offense, very stingy defense. Which one's going to prevail? Come back and find out. Opening tip-off for today's ball game for the H&PE Arena follows this timeout.
They were big. Well, what is big?
This is big.
It's an energy. An opportunity. So go on. Dream big. Because big is just the beginning.
I got it. This is big.
Student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Basketball in the American Athletic Conference.
Big time bucket for Obi and Echionia. He got it to go. Two-point terrific finish.
Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets in Orlando March 8th to the 11th. Call the Amway Center box office or visit theamerican.org today.
Power is excitement, energy, an unrelenting spirit. Its success is realized on the court, and its passion is felt in the hearts of players, coaches, and fans. And it all comes together in a conference known as the American. The American Power for Life.
They were big. Well, what is big?
This is big.
It's an energy, an opportunity. So go on, dream big, because big is just the beginning.
I got it.
And we bring you back into the H&PE Arena in Houston, Texas, the campus of Texas Southern University. Home away from home for the Houston Cougars, because what used to be Hofheinz Pavilion undergoing $60 million worth of renovations, and will be open as the brand new Fertitta Center next basketball season on the campus of the University of Houston. So a couple of blocks away is Texas Southern University, and they have been very hospitable to the Houston Cougars this year, bringing their men and women's team in here to make it a home away from home. And it's kind of interesting when you look at it, Angela, between the two teams, they've only lost 2 games at home all year long in this home away from home, if you will.
Well, this is a great place to play. I mean, you almost wish it was their home court because it's so intimate and small, and I think it plays to their advantage. I asked Coach earlier, does he like being at home, and do you think it's an advantage? And he said, heck yes it is, because of the small arena. He plays 94 feet.
It's senior day here, so we've had some ceremonies. It's delayed the starting tip-off for today's ball game. But let's get into the starting lineups. First of all, for the UCF Knights, it's the lineup they've been going with most of the season. And it has Cornelia, but we're going to call her KK because that's what she prefers, right? And Zakiya Saunders in the backcourt, which Coach Henderson says might be the best backcourt duo of the entire AAC.
I've said that all year, Tom. I love these two together. They're volatile.
Meanwhile, in the center is Masane Kaba, and this is a young freshman at 6'3" who has really blossomed as this season is going along.
She's just trying to figure it out, but she's figuring it out pretty quick.
Now, when you look at the Houston Cougars lineup, there have been some changes. That is the lineup they are going with most of this season, but there are some changes in today's game because Coach Ronald Hughey has 3 seniors on his lineup, and all 3 seniors are going to be starting today. So we will see Angela Harris, who we profiled in the start, who's got 3 straight 20-win ball games. And along with that is Deanna Collins. They'll be in there, but then the seniors start to come in. We won't see Jasmine Harris in the starting lineup. It'll be interesting to see how long she stays on the bench.
I predict it will be less than a 1 full minute.
Meanwhile, we will also have Sarithia Hawkins along with Mariah Mitchell and Kayla Chiser. Those are 2 seniors that haven't seen a whole lot of action today, but they get honored because it is senior day, the final home game. They're going to get a chance to show what they can do here before the home folks just won last time.
Well, if I had to gauge the intensity in the arena right now, I think UCF has been very much workmanlike, and then Houston's been very loose, giggling, laughing, so it'll be interesting how the looseness of Houston plays to the seriousness of UCF.
Our officials today, Paulina Spurlock is our lead official with Jules Gallion and Frank Sterator as the assistant referees for today's game. Interesting that UCF, being the visiting team, they're going to wear the white jerseys, however, with the black trim. In Houston, they're calling it a blackout Saturday. They gave away black T-shirts to the first 200 fans that got here for today's ball game, so they're wearing black uniforms trimmed in red for today's contest.
Well, I'm so excited about this game, Tom. I'm excited to be here next to you and on the ADN network, and because this is the game we've been waiting for all year long, you know, as all the build-up. This, all the hype, this right here is the best game in the American.
I'm glad you got that tip that I sent you before the ball game to say something nice about me before we got too deep into the contest.
You got to do what you got to do.
Houston will move it from right to left as you look here on your television screens. We thank you for joining us here along the American Digital Network. Got the cue from the scores table, so we're ready for action. Hawkins to jump for Houston against Kaba. And the tip is controlled. Well, Hawkins got the tip after it was both controlled, but she can't do it until she gets out of the circle.
Yeah, there's a rule that you can't catch your own tip. That would be kind of cool if you could, but not today.
So the Knights will inbound from the sideline right in front of our broadcast location. Schuler puts it in for Wright, and Wright will send the Knights into motion.
Well, the Knights are going to be paying attention to Kaba inside and Z outside.
Long rebound goes out of bounds before Schuler can track it down. Houston will get it on a one and done.
The Knights are going to be more systematic about what they put together here at the beginning. They're going to try to fill out their opponent. But I think Houston's just going to go after it. They're going to be a lot more reckless, and they're going to try to get these guys to play at a tempo they don't want to.
2-1-2 zone trap to start, full 94 feet, but no trouble for the Cougars on their first possession.
It'd be pretty cool if one of these seniors made a shot here early.
Shot clock is down to 5 on this first possession. Dribbling in trouble was Mitchell. We get a tie up at the top of the circle. Houston will get possession. That's the good news. The bad news is there's only 1 left on the shot clock.
Well, one thing that Coach Huey said is they're not going to go side to side to side to side. They're going to fire it up. They went side to side to side to side that time, and that's what the Knights make you do.
Got to catch and shoot. Desperation shot by Collins was blocked by Schuler, and the shot clock violation will give the ball back to the Knights. Look there at Katie Abramson Henderson in her second year as the head coach of the Knights. Came down from Albany.
Well, she's an amazing coach. She's been in this position with a lot of different programs in her life, and she's really turned this program around.
Houston turning up the half-court man-to-man pressure, but they leave an open man on the wing. And good for 2 is Zakiya Saunders. You can't leave her open because she'll hurt you all day long.
Well, they call that tilting to one side and countering to the other, and you want to counter to your best player, and that happens to be Z Saunders.
Again, the Cougars break the press, but now let's see what they can do in the half court.
Well, look at this zone, though. They stretch their arms out. They're active in the zone. They stay down. It's a really prototype of a zone. They try to cut the court. They try to make you do what you don't want to do.
Entry into the post, the Hawkins back outside.
They cover the shooters on their side.
Before the clock goes off, Angela Harris misses a long-range 3 and another one and done. So great defense by the Knights.
We have 3 players coming in for Houston.
The seniors are going to bow out, and the regular starters are going to come in here. So they're going to get a couple of minutes under their belt.
They're trying to deny the passing lane on UCF, and it's causing them a little trouble. But you see Z Saunders, she's a coach on the floor. She's trying to get them settled down.
Entry pass in the block. Kaba misses with the left-hander, but Schuler's there for the putback.
Well, that's what Schuler does. She is the cleanup woman. That's what she does for her team, and she's the most unheralded player on this team.
So 4-0 lead for the Knights. Cougars with only 2 shots, and it trapped along the near sideline was Collins, and she's forced to call a timeout. That's going to allow Ronald Huey to get his regulars into the ball game. Here was 7:44 left here in the opening quarter.
Well, Coach talked about she was going to use different zone presses, and that's one of the zone presses she did, the 3-quarter press. So, you know, they're going to pick up at different levels, and this time they picked 3-quarter court up, and they were a little bit surprised, which I'm surprised that they were surprised at, but they got it caught in the corner.
Yeah, that zone defense, and it's unusual. You don't see a lot of 3-2s. See a lot more 2-3s or boxes and 1s. 3-2s is not the usual zone defense you see, but This Knights team has it down to a science.
Well, she learned it from Joe Champy a long time ago, and he was one of the great zone teachers. And she also learned a 2-3 zone by the Iowa State Bill Finley. And so she's taken those two things that she's learned from other people in her life and made it a staple for her defense. And it's very difficult because if you're a guard, you want to penetrate the inside, and they don't let you do it. And that's their key goal today.
You know, and they only allow 54 points this season, as high scoring as UConn is. When they play this Knights team, they only managed 57 points, and that's incredible to limit the Gino Auriemma team to just 57 points in a ball game.
Well, we talked before the broadcast about them giving up 19 points the other night. I was at that game, and then they limited them to single digits for 3 more quarters. That's what I'm talking about, Tom. They adjust to their opponent, and they figure out how they can actually just kind of sharpen up their defense and keep it solid.
They gave up 19 to Memphis in the opening quarter and 21 in the remaining 3 periods for 40 for the ball game. So the Houston Cougars will check back in with Dorian Branch, Jasmine Harris, and Maya West as we get to the timeout.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a tough thing that Coach Huey just did, okay? You have one of the biggest games of your year, and you start your seniors. I think it shows a lot about his character, but it's still tough on everyone when you spend the first minute kind of with people that haven't played a whole lot on your team. So good for Coach Huey in the human part of the whole story that he would do that, but it's still tough.
Well, it's one of the principles that he has tried to ingrain in this Houston women's program since taking over, and this is now his 4th season. The culture he's tried to build is one of selflessness. You take care of others, and it will come back and pay you back. And that's what he did right here. He took care of his seniors, got them to start in their final home game. He's hoping for the payoff at the end of the game. They can still walk out of here with a victory, and they're only down 4-0. So Hawkins will inbound on the sideline. Angela Harris awaits. Keep your eyes on the player at the free throw line. That is Jasmine Harris, sophomore who has blossomed this year out of Brazosport High School down in Freeport, Texas, averaging 20.1, third leading scorer here in the American Athletic Conference. Five to shoot. Jasmine Harris in trouble. Back out top. Desperation 3 is off the mark. No good by Dorian Branch. And once again, it's a one and done for the UCF Knights defense. Kaba threw a double team, couldn't get it to go.
Well, that's her side. If she's going to score, that's the side she likes to score on the most. She just didn't finish it. She needs to take her time.
Angela Harris's pass deflected, but picked up on the sideline by Dorian Branch.
The intensity in this game is very good. It's very strong. Both teams are super intense and focused.
Would expect that with so much at stake, that's the way we would have it in today's ball game.
Well, so far, all of the shots that Houston's had have been away from the rim pretty far. There we get a final attack to the basket by West.
Maya West attacking the basket, drawing the foul from Nyla Schuler. First foul on either team in the ball game. And West, a 69% free throw shooter, will go to the line trying to get Houston's first points of the game with 6:47 left here in the opening quarter.
Well, she's one of the starting 5 that really isn't known for her scoring. She's been known for basically bolstering up their inside attack, but this was a good take by her, and she attacked that zone.
1 out of 2, so Houston gets on the board. 4-1 is our score.
Houston's going to come with their patented run and jump defense.
Looked like a little bit of a 1-2-2 zone trap that they backed out of into the man-to-man.
It's pretty much a run and jump that's their patent.
Try to go inside again for Kaba, and she was fighting down low with Hawkins, who will pick up the foul.
Well, that's as physical as I've seen, Kaba be inside. Those two, West and Kaba, are going at it inside, and I like seeing it.
New 30 on the clock for the Knights. Trying to go backdoor for Saunders. Picked up by Hawkins, but I think she had a foot on the baseline. It'll keep the ball with UCF.
Coach Abe talked about them playing similar styles. They do because they're such great thieves. Both teams are leading the conference in steals, and there's a good indication of what they're capable of doing.
Having trouble getting it in. 5 count. Saunders couldn't get it in time. And the turnover will go to the U of H Houston women's basketballers. Cougars, again, have no trouble getting it across the line. The first 47 feet have been pretty easy. The last 47 feet, not so much. Saunders, could she keep it in? No. Got in the passing lane. They were looking for Jasmine Harris on the sideline. Saunders knocked it away, but couldn't keep it in play. 12 to shoot for Houston.
Let's see if they get some penetrating pass.
Hawkins off the elbow. West on the baseline, tried to send it through for Harris. Loose ball goes out of bounds. And again, Houston's going to get it with 1 on the clock.
Well, it says as much about the Knights as it does about Houston. Their defense just makes you play further out than you want to and doesn't allow you to get the penetration you want.
It is suffocating watching here this first 4 minutes. Tried to free Harris. They lob it out top. Long range 3 off the backboard. No good by Dorian Branch. Loose ball tracked down and kept in play by Saunders. Wright will pull up from the elbow. Won't get it. We're getting a rebounding foul coming in late. Is that the second on Schuler? It is.
Well, that's not good for the UCF Knights. Having Schuler in foul trouble is really puts them back. I talked about that in my pregame. Coach feels like she's one of the keyest players for them, and to have her on the bench this early is going to be tough.
So that'll bring Kayla Thigpen, number 11, off the bench, 5'8" junior out of West Palm Beach, Florida. Trapping defense. They found Harris near the midcourt stripe. And a wild pass is going to get a push on the sideline on UCF. Going to be on Kaba.
I don't know if we talked about how physical this game was going to be, but cross-court passes are probably a no-no against both of these teams because someone's knifing a passing. I'm surprised that she didn't get the foul on that, Kaba, because she did go into her body. Angela Harris, she will find a way to get loose. She needs to kind of move and get down in that baseline.
Jasmine Harris, 3 is off the mark, but racing in for the rebound was Branch. But the steal in the corner by Gregory. And here come the Knights. A 3, that's off the mark. That's not what they shoot. Saunders missing. Houston in transition, up and under, left it short. Did Hawkins.
I was athletic as heck, but you got to finish, and it may look good in the films, but you got to make it at this point.
She left it, couldn't get enough backboard or English on that ball to make it to fall. Under 5 to go here in the opening quarter.
Houston's doing an outstanding job of playing passing lane. They're trying to limit the touches of Wright and of Saunders, making them work extra hard to get open.
Three-pointer from the right side by Gregory is no good. Three-pointer is not the shot that UCF wants to take. Houston will give it to them all day long.
I think conditioning is going to play a big part in this game because I think both teams are playing harder than they've had to play in a long time.
Driving to the basket hard. Was Maya West who'll get fouled again.
Well, that's a good strategy there. Attack the zone, and here, good dribble penetration. She doesn't settle, she attacks, gets to the body, and gets to the foul line.
So West, after missing her first free throw a moment ago, was put in 2 in a row, has all of Houston's points.
Which, if you thought about that before the game, you'd say that's not going to be the case. But but you know, credits the Knights too, because that's what they're giving her. If they're going to give anybody points, it's going to be that kid, not the other ones.
So West has all 3. KK Wright takes a seat. And Jamisha Paul, number 33, checks in, and she just threw it away here at midcourt. Trying to rescue it was Kaba, but could not. Pressure makes players do strange things, and you saw it there. Jamisha Paul just in the game, they double team her and force a turnover. That'll cause the Knights to call a 30-second timeout here with 4:07 left here in the opening quarter.
Well, Coach Abe just gave the look. And the look is the roll of the eyes, like, I cannot believe how y'all are starting this up, okay? But she's, look at her demeanor. It's super calm. And Coach Abe's is super calm talking to him. On the other hand, Coach Huey, he's probably excited that, his kids are making them look kind of silly sometimes.
So did you have a look when you were coaching?
I did. I had yeah, if you ask any of my players, I had that look.
Did you have more than one?
Yeah, I did, but I mean, not a Pat Head look. I mean, Pat Head Summit had the look. Mine was a little look, you know.
Yeah, the Pat Summitt look was priceless. You knew you were in trouble when Pat Summitt gave you the look.
It was the stare, you know.
So our score is 4-3. It's the pace that UCF wants to play. Looking down low, they find West, fumbles it, puts it up, and got it to go. All 5 points belong to Maya West as Houston takes their first lead.
That was a pretty cautious-looking offensive, you know, just distribution and perfect by Houston.
Cougars with in-your-face man-to-man defense. Find Kaba on the left side. She's got it.
Well, Kaba on the left side is always going to use that right hand. Her left hand is not as strong yet. But I'll tell you what's really effective for Houston right now is they are making Saunders' life hell.
Jasmine Harris with the dish. And guess who? Maya West. It's the Maya West show.
Well, this is definitely in their tempo. This is right now, this game is in Houston's tempo. Here's Saunders trying to slow him down a little bit.
3 minutes left here in the opening quarter. 1 point lead for Houston. Pull-up jumper is no good by Saunders. Nice rebound on the backside by Paul. Put it back in for 2 and 1.
Well, I like Paul a lot. She had a great game last game. She came off the bench and was one short of a double-double, had 10 points, 9 rebounds. That was a great offensive rebound. She's nice and strong. She keeps it alive, hits Saunders, and she goes in and gets the and one.
Saunders with her second field goal of the ball game. Foul was on Angela Harris, her first. 2 team fouls against Houston as Saunders completes a 3-point play.
Now, Saunders has been a little strong on her shot so far, and I think it's because she's excited. I just think, you know, when she gets open, she's kind of over-forcing her shot a little bit.
Once she loses a little bit of that adrenaline that's been built up in the body. Long range 3 is no good by Angela Harris. Rebound, however, in the putback, no good by Hawkins, but she's got it the second time.
Wow, they can't handle them inside right now. Their ups are quick. I mean, they're just getting right back up and getting that rebound. That was fantastic.
Sharitha Hawkins with her first basket ties the game at 9. Down to the 2-minute mark of the opening quarter.
Saunders is having to handle the ball probably too much.
Oh, 2-pointer just inside the arc from the top of the circle.
But she's working really hard for that. If you isolate her in a series, she's working extremely hard. I just hope she can handle it that long.
She has 7 of UCF's 11. Baseline drive by West, and she draws a foul. Foul is going to be on Thigpen.
So clearly in this defense, the back line is weak right now, and that's Kaba. Kaba's the only one back there, and they're attacking that back line by sending 2 people back and attacking the baseline.
So Maya West, the junior.
Now, I don't mean Kaba's weak.
No.
I'm saying she's weak in that defense because she's just a freshman. She's learning all these new things. She wasn't expected to play at the beginning of the year this much. You know, they lost Fifi Nador and they lost Okamore, and she's gotten all the minutes.
West goes 1 out of 2. She has 8 points. It's a 1-point lead for UCF here with 1.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Number 30, Delphine Robitaille from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, has checked in for the Knights for Thigpen, who picked up her second foul. Wright is back in the ball game on the attack, left it down low for Kaba, who got fouled. It's going to be on Hawkins.
Well, that was a spectacular pass. You can see they can't get the ball to Saunders. They need to screen Saunders off. Saunders is being totally blanketed, but she comes and gives that little drop pass inside. Kabas was too far under. She probably should have taken a power dribble, but nevertheless, she got fouled.
So Masani Kaba hits the first free throw. She's only a 53% free throw shooter on the season. She has 3 points in the ball game. Jamisha Paul will check out. Goes 1 for 2. And L'Oreal Wilson, 23, is in for the Knights here. We're down to 70 seconds left in the opening quarter. 2-point lead for UCF. Hawkins, long pass. Nice rescue by Jasmine Harris. The floater in and out, no good by Branch. Rebound, Wright's got it for the Knights. Streaking up the floor. The dish to Kaba for the bucket.
I like that by Wright. She's attacking them. I mean, instead of being passive against this defense, you've got to be aggressive against it, and that was a good take.
This is Julia Blackshill-Fair, 33. And a turnover gives the ball away to the Knights. Almost a steal, but Wilson with the putback.
Yeah, that was a tough call there. A tough non-call.
I think the ball might have been deflected. I think that's why they didn't give the traveling violation. Tough to see from our angle because we had the players' backs were to us. Down to 10 seconds left here in the opening period. The scoop to the bucket is good by Sharitha Hawkins. Half-court heave is short, and that brings us to the end of period number 1. But we expected a battle, and we are getting it. UCF leading for most of the first quarter. Will take the advantage into the intermission here between periods 1 and 2 at the H&PE Arena in Houston.
Power is excitement, energy, an unrelenting spirit. Its success is realized on the court, and its passion is felt in the hearts of players, coaches, and fans. And it all comes together in a conference known as the American. The American Power for Life.
Welcome to college basketball in the American Athletic Conference.
Big time bucket for Obi and Echionia. He got it. Terrific finish.
Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets in Orlando March 8th to the 11th. Call the Amway Center box office or visit theamerican.org today.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
They were big. Well, what is big?
This is big.
It's an energy, an opportunity. So go on, dream big, because big is just the beginning.
I got it. This is big.
Back here in Houston, 16-12, UCF on top of Houston after one quarter. We take a look at the American women's basketball standings. UConn and USF clinching first-round byes in the tournament, which starts on Saturday at the Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut this weekend. UCF 10-4 can lock down another seed with a win today. Houston and Cincinnati tied at 9-5. Those are the teams fighting for those last two first-round byes in the tournament, which is so important when to play 3 games as opposed to 4. Angela.
Well, it says everything. You don't want to do that, but I just feel like both these teams so far have done what they've wanted to do in the first quarter. UCF has forced them to shoot a little further than they want for Houston. They're 0 of 6 from three-point range right now, and Houston had to get 10 bench points because they're not letting their key players score.
So here's Wilson at the elbow. Right jumper partially blocked by Blackshill-Fair. Cougars have a chance. On the clock. Houston's had a hard time getting shots in rhythm. Long one from Jasmine Harris, no good. Wright had the rebound poked out of his hands, but Wilson will take it.
Well, they're making him go side to side, and that's not Houston's game. But their defense is definitely strong. Houston is causing UCF a lot of issues.
Saunders long from the right side, but Robitaille had the rebound, but had a foot on the baseline trying to save it. And the one thing that UCF has really done well here, for the most part, is limit them to one shot offensively. A couple of times when Houston has made some of their points, they've been on second and third chances.
Well, they've been, both teams have been rebounding strong and limiting to one. They've been fighting very hard.
Houston almost with a chance, but the Knights able to recover and force the ball outside. This is Octavia Barnes, number 2, who's checked in. Long three, no good. They wave it off. As Harris buried it, we're going to get an offensive foul. It's going to be on Octavia Barnes, her first, and the Cougars' 4th here in the half. So Barnes trying to free Harris for that long-range 3. They thought it was a good one for a minute.
Yeah, notice where the three's coming from, though. It's coming from NBA range. They're not letting them set up in their normal, comfortable positions. But this defense is outstanding of both teams. Houston is causing havoc on the ball.
Wright tried to attack. The pass taken away down low. Ahead for Angela Harris with the right hand for her first point.
That's the first transition bucket for Houston tonight, and it was done perfectly.
All started with a good defense down low as they took the pass away from Kaba. And able to convert on the other end.
Well, they're bringing Z Saunders off the screen now, which I like. Freeing her up a little bit to give her shot, and that's good coaching by Coach Abe.
18-footer from the left side gives her 9 points in the ball game early to lead all scorers.
One thing that Houston's doing that a lot of teams have not done against UCF is they have attacked that baseline very effectively.
Harris again, this time a little bit strong, and Kaba with the rebound for UCF and another one and done. Wilson through the double team, almost lost it. Kaba rescues from the floor, and Wright will hit the free throw line jumper.
Well, that's KK Wright's shot right there, that mid-range jumper. A lot of great shooters don't have that in their game, but both of their guards do.
Good rescue by Jasmine Harris on the near sideline.
I think they need to sneak Harris on that baseline somewhere. That's where the shots are open. Harris is staying on the top, and I think she needs to move a little bit.
Blackshill Fair was short from the right baseline, and another one and done.
You don't want to eat your you don't want to eat your dribble against this defense because they will smother you.
Wilson, tough shot, left it short. Rebound fought for, and last touch underneath by Sharitha Hawkins. It'll stay with UCF.
They need a big game out of Gregory here. Gregory was a preseason first team all-conference selection. And she's been a good team player. It's been a great team, UCF, but she also needs to rise to the occasion. She has all the capabilities of taking over a game.
Averaging just under 10 points per ball game. The senior out of Tampa. And a foul away from the ball.
Yeah, that time they were holding her on her cut. You can bump and you can redirect her, but you can't hold her. You can displace her, but not.
And Octavia Barnes picks up her second foul, so she'll have a seat on the bench. That'll bring Maya West back in the ball game. Loose ball, Robitaille couldn't control. Hawkins will take it for Houston. West trying to drive around Kaba, left it short, and Kaba clears.
Well, good job by Kaba not giving her that baseline, making her come to the interior where she had her help.
And also to stay vertical, not to reach in or lean in.
Good point, good point.
Here's Wright from 17. Second bucket of the quarter for KK Wright. 8-point lead is the biggest for the Knights.
They need to find a way to get Angela, Jasmine Harris involved.
Both the Harrises in, yeah.
They're just, they're not letting them touch it, and they need to get them screened and moving.
Saunders right side, won't go. Rebound to Hawkins. Here's Angela Harris. Jasmine again with an athletic play to keep that long pass inbounds.
Well, you need to pass so you can shoot it, not so she has to, acrobatically save it. They're just shadowing her.
Jasmine Harris nails a deep, deep three.
Well, that was way downtown, and that's what they're giving her, and she had to stroke that. You saw her follow through. She pushed it all the way through the hoop. So that
might
was
have been from Emancipation Park nearby here, as deep as that was. 22-17, 5-point lead for the Knights, who have led almost the entire way. Wide open is Robitaille for the lefty off the glass.
Well, we'll see what kind of oxygen that Houston has in its tank, because they looked a little tired on that play. They've been playing extremely hard in their man-to-man. We'll see, when you sit in a zone, it's a little bit easier. When you're trying to pressure that ball like they are, it's a lot tougher. So we'll see how they handle it.
We're due for immediate timeout here at the next stoppage in play. Here's Hawkins. West traveled. And that will give us the immediate timeout with 4 minutes, 10 seconds to play first half. UCF, the number 3 team in the American, owning a 7-point lead on the Houston Cougars, the 4th place team. As we approach the intermission here of today's ball game from the H&PE Arena in Houston.
Power is excitement, energy, an unrelenting spirit. Its success is realized on the court, and its passion is felt in the hearts of players, coaches, and fans. And it all comes together in a conference known as the American. The American Power for Life.
Welcome to college basketball in the American Athletic Conference.
Big time bucket for Obi and Echionia. He got it to go. A 2-point terrific finish.
Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets in Orlando March 8th to the 11th. Call the Amway Center box office or visit theamerican.org today.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Four minutes, 10 seconds left here in the opening half. UCF owning a 7-point lead, and that suffocating defense that they are known for on display here, holding the Houston Cougars' high-octane offense 75 points a game to just 6 of 20 and 1 of 9 from long range, Angela.
Well, they held them to single digits, was 5 points, okay? They only scored 8 points of their own, but they're okay with that. They want that game. That was definitely their quarter, They manhandled them in that quarter. They hit their mid-range jumpers, and they forced everyone to shoot these crazy long-distance shots that were pretty much hitting the rim most of the afternoon.
Desperation shots as the shot clock was running out has been the message of the day for Ronald Hughey's Houston Cougars. That's not what they look for. They like in rhythm, catch and shoot threes. They're not getting that.
It's still a 7-point game though, so it's, you know, they're in striking distance. They've come back from behind 8 points 9 times, so they got different levels of play here.
Shot clock down to 7. Looking for Kaba, who got free for the right-hander.
Well, that was a big-time touch pass by L'Oreal Wilson. She just floated that thing to give Kaba enough time to get it.
Euro step in the finish for Jasmine Harris, her second bucket.
Well, look for her to pick it up. She scored 18 to 20 points almost every game. She's going to dial it up.
Going to get a body foul on Angela Harris. It'll be her second. The third of the quarter.
Well, they can't afford to have her in foul trouble. She is a big reason they're having trouble on offense because she's blanketing their offense.
UCF has done a great job against the law firm of Harris and Harris. Those two together average nearly 35 points a ball game, and so far have been held to just 7 here in the first half.
Z Saunders is out of the game. They're taking their time.
Gregory's 10-footer is no good. Going to get, a foul on Houston underneath. Jasmine Harris got the rebound, but I don't think the foul's on her.
Well, you can tell by the Kaba's face, she's getting pretty physically beat up in there. It's not a bad strategy here on the block out.
Hard to tell.
I'm not sure about that one. Looks like they came underneath her, but
they gave it to Maya West. Be her first. Houston with 4 fouls here in the second quarter, none for UCF. Off the block for Kaba, no good from the left side, but a wild pass, and Robitaille is there to give new life to UCF. Kaba can't control, but gets it on the baseline. Gregory, the stop and pop. Ooh, tough shot there for Aaliyah Gregory. Her first bucket, biggest lead of the game, 9 for UCF at 28-19. Two minutes left here in the first half. And a steal. They took it away from Blackshill Fair. Driving to the basket for the finish, L'Oreal Wilson.
big time take by L'Oreal, little hesitation, and then a full complete dive to the basket and a score.
And Ronald Hughey forced to use a timeout here, a 30-second timeout with 1:49 left. You see the finish there by Wilson after the steal. But this defense will drive you crazy. And Houston, being a young team, has to keep their composure. They started 3 seniors in the ball game, but those 3 seniors played limited minutes. This is a very young team, freshman, sophomore, junior oriented. And Coach Hughey says he's got to keep their focus and not let them get down on themselves. He said that's what happened after they built an early lead against UCF on Wednesday night. They got off to a 30-20 start, but then some of the calls didn't go their way, and the players got distracted, lost focus, and UCF took command of the ball game. And he's got to keep that from happening here in the second quarter to get back within range before they go into the locker room.
Well, they need to get a couple good offensive sets. They really haven't gotten that many good looks tonight. They have their shooters this far away from the basket. Their 2 shooters are up top. They got you covered up top. You need to get to the baseline.
Hawkins with a tough 10-footer is no good. Knights have the rebound. No, nice steal by Branch. But Wright dives in there. We're getting a foul and it's going to be on Wilson on the floor.
Well, that's a good display of sacrificing your body and getting down there on the floor and everybody diving on it. That's the type of game we have this afternoon, and that's what they need to win.
Well, the teams are both aware of what is at stake. UCF, if they can pick up win number 11, will be assured of one of the 2 remaining byes in the conference tournament beginning next Saturday, which means they wouldn't have to play until Sunday. Houston, meanwhile, probably needs to win out to secure one. But they've got 2 toughies. They've got UCF here and Cincinnati to finish on Monday. The team they are tied for 4th place with at 9-5. Wild shot by Hawkins goes off the mark. And Saunders took the rebound and wait, offensive foul. A little clearance as she tried to stop the dribble. Saunders picks up her first foul. Watch it again. See the armbar shoving the defender out of the way. Dribbling left hand, the right hand forearm.
Well, that's what happened when someone's in your grill all game, and they've been giving her fits. So you get frustrated, and you want to get them off you, but you can't.
Under a minute to go. Jasmine Harris misses the 3 ball. Kaba clears. We're down to 40 seconds left here in the first half. Ooh. Wilson almost walked with the ball. Deep 3 from Saunders. In and out, no good. Houston with a rebound. Clear for Hawkins, he's been their best player here in the first half for the Cougars. The junior out of Moore, Oklahoma. Fight for the loose ball. It's Saunders who takes it away to Wright. Down to 10 seconds. Wright with a jump step and the right-handed finish for KK Wright. And that's going to do it as the ball gets away underneath the basket. And the UCF Knights have put the grips on Houston's high-scoring offense, averaging 75 points a game coming in, holding them to 19 here in the first half and only 7 in the second quarter to take a 32-19 lead into the locker room. And Angela standing by with UCF head coach Katie Abramson-Henderson.
Outstanding first half. Tell us what you did to make a switch in that first quarter. You gave up a few points and you held them to single digits.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of backed our press off. We're not really pressing and trapping. They got some easy baskets, and we're doing a good job considering we are in foul trouble. 2 of our post players are on the bench in foul troubles, and we got our freshman playing the post that she never plays. So I'm very proud of them. We're just being aggressive and, just trying to be poised with their pressure.
They're causing Z some havoc. I mean, they're all over. Do you think she can last the whole game with as much pressure as she has?
Yeah, and if she can't, we got other guards that can do that. But she's a seasoned veteran. She's a 5th-year senior, so she understands that. So everybody else has just got to step up.
So they're called the Cardiac Kids. They've come back from 9 points 8 different times. How can you hold them off?
We just got to be poised and understand what they're doing, and I'll tell our ladies what they're doing in there offensively and defensively. And we're a veteran team compared to them. They're very young, and so we just got to be really poised.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Angela, thanks very much. 32-19, UCF with that stifling defense, putting it on the Houston Cougars through the first 20 minutes of today's ball game. Stay tuned. Halftime activities coming your way next after this timeout on ADN.
Is excitement, energy, an unrelenting spirit. Its success is realized on the court, and its passion is felt in the hearts of players, coaches, and fans. And it all comes together in a conference known as the American. The American Power for Life.
Basketball in the American Athletic Conference.
Big time bucket for Obi and Echionia. He got it to go. 2-point
Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets in Orlando March 8th to the 11th. Call the Amway Center box office or visit theamerican.org today.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Hope you're enjoying the President's Day holiday and welcome into the ADN studio for an all-new episode of The Rise. I'm Haley Outen. It's time to take a look at who takes home the conference's top accolades for their standout performances on the hardwood this past week. On the men's side, what a week it was across the conference. Taking home this week's top honor is Wichita State forward Shaquille Morris. Morris led the Shockers to a 2-0 week, positioning his team within one game of first place. Wichita State essentially controlling their own destiny at this point in the season. Thursday, Morris's 23-point, 13-rebound effort carried the Shockers past Temple before he stuffed the box score with 13 points, 3 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 2 steals in a win over number 5 Cincinnati, snapping the nation's longest home court winning streak. Rookie of the Week honors went out to ECU's Sean Williams for the 4th time this year, tying for the most in a season in conference history. In a 1-1 week for ECU, Williams averaged over 27 points, going a combined 13 of 19 from three-point range. Williams hit all 6 of his three-point attempts, finishing with 29 points in the Pirates' win at Tulane before knocking down 7 threes against UConn en route to a 26-point effort. A handful of other players had impressive performances as well. Here's a look at this week's American Honor Roll. On the women's side, UConn guard Katie Lou Samuelson takes home this week's top honor. The junior averaged over 26 points in 2 wins for the top-ranked Huskies last week. Against Louisville, Samuelson led all scorers with 26 points. On Saturday against the Owls, she registered 27 while dishing out 5 assists. Meanwhile, Freshman of the Week honors went to Temple's Amani Mayo. This is the first conference accolade for the freshman, who averaged 16 points, 2.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists for the Owls last week. She put forth 15 points at Wichita State on Saturday, snagging 4 rebounds before leading the Owls at UConn on Sunday with 17 points. And here's a look at the performances that received recognition on this week's Conference Honor Roll. Thanks for joining us today on The Rise. Hope you have a great rest of your week.
Power is excitement, energy, an unrelenting spirit. Its success is realized on the court, and its passion is felt in the hearts of players, coaches, and fans. And it all comes together in a conference known as the American. The American Power for Life.
Welcome to college basketball in the American Athletic Conference.
Big time bucket from Obi and Echionia. Terrific finish.
Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets in Orlando March 8th to the 11th. Call the Amway Center box office or visit theamerican.org today.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions students in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
And we bring you back in here to the H&PE Arena on the campus of Texas Southern University. We're at halftime of today's American Athletic Conference women's basketball game with UCF holding a commanding 32-19 lead over the Houston Cougars, the battle of the third and fourth place teams. And right now it's been all UCF as we take a look at some of our first half highlights.
Well, it was West inside for Houston, which I'm pretty sure they were surprised about. They went into Caba there for a good post play. Once again, West early on where they're getting penetration out of that zone. Rebounding-wise, UCF has owned the glass. They've given them one and done. They've been able to penetrate and get those mid-range jumpers going. That's Z Saunders. KK Wright's gone in there and gotten a lot of good touch passes inside. They did get one transition bucket here with Harris. But other than that, it's been UCF, running the show, getting the mid-range jumper, and keeping the score nice and low. Right there, KK Wright again, right where she likes it, the sweet spot at the elbow.
Coach Abe, you talked to her at the intermission, but when I talked to her earlier this week, she said they need to attack the paint, get paint touches, not necessarily scores from the paint, but needs to penetrate in to set things up. She would like to have a 65-35 ratio of 2-point shots to 3-point shots. Well, they've gotten 29 total shots and only 2 3-point attempts. They have really gone inside the arc to get their offense going. Now it's time for us to take a look at the AAC honor roll for the week. We'll start things off with Zakiya Saunders here for this UCF Knights team. Had an outstanding week last week and an outstanding season for them, averaging 15.2 points per ball game. Freshman of the week, Amani Mayo from Temple. Her first accolade of her career, 16 points, 2.5 rebounds last week against UConn. Led the Owls with 17 points, including 5 3-pointers. A feather in her cap in a career which will only be brighter. The young freshman out of Temple being the freshman of the week. And the player of the week last week belongs to UConn's Katie Lou Samuelson. 2-0 week with wins over number 4 Louisville and Temple. 26 points against those Cardinals and 27 points, 5 assists against the Owls. A great week for Katie Lou Samuelson, Gina Auriemma's group. Undefeated once again this season, running off 27 consecutive victories going into today's action. Right here, it's a 13-point lead for UCF at the intermission. We'll get you set for second half action here from the H&PE Arena after this timeout on ADN.
Excitement, energy, and unrelenting spirit. Its success is realized on the court, and its passion is felt in the hearts of players, coaches, and fans. And it all comes together in a conference known as the American. The American Power for Life.
Welcome to college basketball in the American Athletic Conference.
Big time bucket from Obi and Echionia. He got it to go. Terrific finish.
Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets in Orlando March 8th to the 11th. Call the Amway Center box office or visit theamerican.org today.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
And we bring it back into Houston. Basketball season winding down, but the spring season just getting underway, and some upcoming ADN broadcasts for you to look at. Indoor track and field going on this weekend. And then we skip to April for women's golf on April the 17th. Men's and women's tennis April the 21st and 22nd. Men's golf on the 24th. And softball on May 10 and 11. Outdoor track and field 11th through the 13th of May. In the middle, rowing on May the 12th, and we wrap it up with baseball May the 21st through the 26th. So a busy time for the American Athletic Conference, and Angela is standing by right now with U of H coach Ron Huey.
Coach, they held you to single-digit scoring in that second quarter. What happened?
We didn't move the ball well. We didn't attack. Look a little confused, trying to run offense when we got shots open already. We just need to attack and be relaxed and shoot the basketball.
Your shooters went 1 to 10 from three-point range. Does that say more about them, or does it say something about you guys?
I think it's more about us being a little hesitant. We'll shoot it better this half, and we'll shoot more.
What can you do to get the Harrises more involved?
That's it. Transition, rebound the basketball, go, let it fly.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Angela with head coach Ronald Huey, seeing if the Cougars can come back. As Angela mentioned, they have come from behind from at least 8 points down in the second half 8 different times this season. Right now, they face a 13-point deficit at 32-19. Leading all scorers, Zakiya Saunders with 9 points for the Knights. Masani Kaba has 7 to back it up, and 6 off the bench for L'Oreal Wilson. For Houston, 8 points off from Maya West, who didn't start the ball game. A normal starter as the seniors made the start. So you look at Houston's points, and you see 15 points off the bench, but 13 of those 15 points are from usual starters who sat the first 2 minutes of the ball game in honor of the seniors.
Well, yeah, they definitely need to find a way to get more points. He thinks it's going to be in transition, but I also feel like we need some better player movement. Obviously, they got to get some rebounds and get going, and they only have 4 steals. This is a team that's one of the best in the country in stealing, and their steals are not as effective as they've been, and they usually steal and go, and right now they need to pick that up.
Angela Harris leads the conference with 86 steals on the season, none in the first half. So we'll see what the second 20 minutes bring in today's ball game as Houston will start moving left to right. 3 from the corner is no good by Dorian Branch. Fight for the loose ball on the floor and a foul.
I think one thing that Houston wants to do is shoot earlier in their offense. That was a good indicator right there. She caught the ball and just took it. I think you're going to see them fire up a lot more shots here in the second half.
I think they gave the foul to Maya West. So it'll be UCF ball. Right with the dish, and Kaba with a finish.
Well, that was a fundamental jump stop, hesitation, drop pass inside. Excellent play by Wright.
9 points for Kaba in the ball game. She averages 8.5 on the season.
She drew the defender to her. A lot of kids don't understand that concept. She drew him to her, and then she was able to do the dump off.
Houston still having trouble figuring out this 3-2 zone. Hawkins from the right wing, no good. Rebound tipped around and into the arms of Zakiya Saunders.
Well, you'll take a tip ball anytime it comes to your team. You'll see the Knights, they want to run their offense. They're not going to get in a big old hurry. They're going to run their passes.
They will take transition if they give it to you, but if the transition's not there, they're not afraid to pull it out.
Well, Harris hasn't had any steals in this game, so look for her to turn it up, and that was a good example right there. One thing Houston's doing that they haven't done this year is they're switching on their screens, on their ball screens. Usually they trap them, and I think that's what the Knights prepared for, but they're running a switch, which is interesting.
Here's Wright underneath the basket, but a wild right-hander, but Kaba's got it. Her putback will not go, but she drew the foul.
That's a good, strong putback by Kaba up into the defense. She's getting more physical by the game.
Octavia Barnes picking up the foul. That'll be her third. And Kaba will go to the free throw line. Austin Kaba. 1 out of 2 from the stripe in the first half.
Surprisingly, neither one of these teams are great free throw shooting teams. They're both shooting in the 65-64% range. And as for, being the top teams in the league, you would expect maybe a little better free throw shooting.
Kaba makes them both. She has 11 to lead all scores.
That's when I like to see Harris move in the offense, not stand.
Down low, Harris, did she step on the baseline? She did. Turnover.
Once
Give
again,
the ball back to UCF.
They scored a good bucket and they turn it over. They've done it a couple times tonight.
They had that 3 ball that you thought might have ignited them, but they had the screen that freed up the shooter on the 3 in the first half, and now this one with the up and under would have gone. Schuler misses from the baseline. Jasmine Harris to take it away for Houston. Left wing 3 is good.
That's Dorian Branch. She's like, okay, let's go. They're used to firing those up all game, and they average 7.5 threes a game, and they only have 2 tonight.
They're going to need to rein in a few threes to get in this ball game. 2 minutes gone by here in the third quarter. Lead is 14 for the Knights. Right in the lane, put it up and got the friendly roll. KK Wright with 4 field goals in the ball game.
Coach Abe thinks they're getting fouled on that interior pass.
Here's Hawkins with the up and under move.
I say go there more often. That's a big time play. She looks extremely strong in there. They need to be going to her a little more.
She's one of the more veteran players, the junior on this U of H team.
Well, that's a good point, Tom. This is a young team. I think that UCF feels like they'll have the advantage. If it comes down the stretch, I think they feel like they will, but they call these the cardiac Cougs. This is a team that's come back 8 different times being down 9 points. So they're capable of coming back. You can see them, run different gears that they have. And so I would never count Houston out of any game.
Well, they left Octavia Barnes on the floor, and she picked up the foul on the drive by Saunders. And that is now 4 on Octavia Barnes, one of the key players in the rotation for Ronald Huey's Cougars.
That was kind of a risky play, but you have faith that these kids will do what they're supposed to do, and sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Saunders hits the first free throw as Barnes takes a seat. Saunders can tie Kaba for scoring honors with that free throw, but doesn't. Stays 1 off, and Kaba's got the rebound and picks up the foul. Foul's going to be on Angela Harris. That'll be her third, and now foul trouble plaguing the Houston Cougars.
Well, that's just extra effort right there. She stays with it, and then they go after it, and she gets the foul.
She came from the offside on that rebound. She was lined up on the left side of the lane. Ball came off on the right. She was able to scoot around underneath and get the loose ball.
A lot of pass fakes, a lot of ball fakes.
Saunders lets it go, can't get it. Put back, no good by Schuler. Rebound goes out of bounds. Last touch by Houston will stay with the Knights. And all the energy is in the ladies in the white uniforms, Angela.
Well, I kind of told you, I worried about maybe Houston's ability to stay with that type of pressure all game. It looked really good in the first quarter. It's just extremely, tenacious, and it's hard to keep that level.
Saunders with a turnaround 15-footer. Has a dozen.
Well, you saw Saunders kind of give that look after she made that shot. It's like, I think they have a lot of confidence right now. They need to get Angela Harris off there. There she goes. She goes to the baseline. That's where she needs to be.
There's Jasmine Harris out top. Gonna get a foul out front. It's going to be on Aaliyah Gregory, her first. Substitution up off the bench. L'Oreal Wilson will come in for Gregory. For the Knights with 6:40 to go here in the third, and the lead has been run out to 17. Houston has not been able to get in sync offensively. Good drive to the basket and finish for Angela Harris. Wow, how about that one?
Well, that one's 1 on 5, but, you know, she's got game. She goes inside the zone, slips in between them, gets low, and the and under. Little left-hand touch shot.
Kaba picks up the foul, her second. Harris to try to complete the three-point play does.
Well, you got to believe the big players come to play, and she's a big player, so there's a lot left in both of those Harrises. You got to look for them to up their game right now.
Made the all-freshman team a year ago, averaging just under 15 points a game this year. Second leading scorer on the team. Here's Kaba, got free, missed it. Put back, missed again. And we're getting a tie-up. Oh, Kaba missed a couple of bunnies.
I told you it's the left side. She doesn't like that side. But, you know, just when you're young, you have to develop both sides. She's just not quite there yet, but she'll get there.
Knights keep the ball with 30 to shoot. Good pass underneath to Schuler for the finish, who got loose on the right side.
A little stack play where they slide off their defender and go in, and it's just one-on-one to the hole.
4 minutes gone here in period number 3. The Knights have run the lead out to 16. Harris from way downtown.
Well, he said, you know, shoot early and often in the offense, and that's early. And if, you know, they get that going, watch out.
Deep, deep three for Angela Harris, who's got 8 points, 6 of them here in the third quarter. Wright attacks, good pause and finish. KK Wright got her defender up off her feet and then laid it in.
Well, that's a great play by her. And she says, come on, let's go. You can show that she's a leader.
Jasmine Harris to the bucket. Her first of the third quarter.
She says, hello. Don't forget about me.
Well, the Harrises need to really wake up and carry this U of H team on their shoulders right now. Midway through the third quarter.
They can knock down a couple threes here. It'll be nerve-wracking for the Knights.
Right from the right corner. Silences the crowd for a minute.
You can't let them run their stuff, though. Their pressure's kind of flattened out a little bit.
Jasmine Harris drives and got fouled on the way to the bucket.
That's what's special about her, is that if you close out on her, she's going to take you to the hole.
Brings us to a media timeout with 4:38 to go in the third. The Knights have put 2 more points onto their lead. It's now 15 at 47-32.
Excitement, energy, an unrelenting spirit. Its success is realized on the court, and its passion is felt in the hearts of players, coaches, and fans. And it all comes together in a conference known as the American. The American Power for Life.
Welcome to college basketball in the American Athletic Conference.
Big time bucket for Obi and Echionia. He got it to go. Terrific finish.
Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets in Orlando March 8th to the 11th. Call the Amway Center box office or visit theamerican.org today.
7 11,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Well, here in the third quarter, the Houston Cougars have found the shooting touch a little bit. 5 of 7 from the field, including 2 of 3 from long range. But they're still being outscored by this UCF Knights club. 6 of 12 from the field here in the third quarter. They've outscored Houston 15-13. But at least Houston's got the tempo a little bit closer to where they want to have it, Angela.
Well, they got 13 points in that quarter, and that's good. That's a good thing, but they can't trade buckets here. They're still down. They've got they're 14 points down, so they've got to find ways to stop. They've got to get some steals. They got to make some things happen here.
It's going to start. You mentioned at the very outset of the ball game, you have to rebound the basketball. Well, UCF has done that. They own a 27-15 lead on the backboards, including 10-3 on the offensive end.
Well, that's a big point. I told you you're going to have to rebound to win this game.
Knights have done it, and they own the game right now with 4.5 to play in the third.
Well, they stretched the guards out so far that they're nowhere near the rebounding area.
Good move, but the diagonal pass slapped away by Wilson. And here come the Knights, 3-on-2. Saunders with a pull-up 10-footer won't go. Backside rebound by Blackshear Fair. Tried to go underneath, stolen back by Saunders. How about that for a two-way player?
It's awesome, but I also think L'Oreal Wilson's come in this game and really done some amazing stuff. She's played extremely tough. She's gotten good penetration, made some things happen.
Only played 6 minutes on Wednesday night in the win over Memphis.
Yeah, I wasn't sure why they didn't put her in, but I guess maybe they were. I think she was a little bit injured. I'm not sure, but she usually plays a lot more than that.
Shot clock down to 2. Desperation shot from 18 is no good by Wilson. Good defense by Houston that time. Now can they turn it over and cash it in? 3 from the wing. Too strong. No good by Angela Harris. Rebound knocked in the backcourt. Who's going to get it?
Oh, wow.
Nice recovery by Blackshear Fair.
Wow. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm sorry to do that on air, but that was a crash. I mean, that's 2 kids laying it out. Unbelievably.
It
Both
doesn't get any more than that.
I mean, they're fighting.
Watch this.
I mean, amazing. Look at them go, and then they crash, and I mean, crash and burn. But good job by Blackwell.
Julia Blackshear Fair, freshman out of Fairfield, California. Had a good ball game in the loss against USF. Played 20 minutes, had 8 points and 6 assists off the bench.
I think it gets down to execution here. Houston just has to find a way. Now they're starting to, kind of overload that baseline a little bit more.
Deep 3 by Jasmine Harris, no good. Rebound cleared, and we're going to get an offensive foul on Kaba for clearing out with the elbow.
Well, I mean, she's trying to get him off her, but yeah, you can't throw the elbow.
Let's watch it here.
Yep. Well, she's able to get her spot, so she had no layup position, and she knocked her off her spot.
Defensively, you can come up close, but then you can't turn the elbow to get loose for room. Kaba will take her first breather as Robitaille comes in off the bench.
Yeah,
Watch.
Mariah Mitchell just got her positioning and took the charge right there. That's no acting either.
Jasmine Harris off the mark with her 3. Long rebound backside. Another chance for Houston. Good from the left wing, Mariah Mitchell.
I told you this team has 6 gears, and he wants to unleash the beast, and that's how you do it right there from 3.
Mitchell on the season just 19% from three-point. Didn't look like it on that shot. And a travel on L'Oreal Wilson. Cougars get the ball back.
Yep, she picked up the pivot foot.
7th turnover now for UCF. The Cougars have coughed it up 10 times. Another three! Jasmine Harris bangs the three home. Back-to-back threes have got the lead down to 9 into single digits, and that forces a timeout called by UCF and Katie Abraham Henderson.
Should have caught Coach Huey there. Coach Huey basically, gave it the big pump, and he was all fired up because that's how he wants to unleash it right there. I mean,
it's a 2.5 to play here, and Houston on a little bit of a run. When we had the media timeout, it was 47-32 with back-to-back three-pointers. First by Mitchell, and then Jasmine Harris has got the Cougars back into single digits for the first time in quite some time.
Well, he talked to him at halftime. He said, I want you to shoot it earlier and more often. That means that don't think about how far out you are. And it's an interesting concept. So they've been just catching and shooting and not thinking about it, and they got their rhythm a little bit.
And that's all about this team because it's a free-flowing offense, and you want your shot to come in the rhythm. You don't want to have to think about it, wait about it. You want to have that free-flowing mentality that you brought, that you mentioned here just a moment ago. And it's been one of the big things about this is turning the culture around. They were a passive 2-3 defensive team. He likes to play the pressure, man-to-man defense that spurs the offense. And it took a while to get the right type of player in here. And thus you see, in his first 3 years as the head coach, he only won 7 conference games. Now they're sitting here at 9-5 coming into the final weekend.
Well, Tom, let's not forget that he is a former assistant coach for many, many programs, many great coaches. And what he did was recruit. And he's had 2 top 100 recruiting classes here. And these are young kids, but they don't play like Jasmine doesn't play like a freshman. I mean, these kids are not playing like freshmen. You're expecting a lot out of them. So even though they're young, they're super talented. And he's got a great history going here for Houston.
And they lose, as we mentioned, 3 seniors, but 3 seniors who don't figure prominently in the rotation. So this team is built to last here for the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, I think, this situation right now, plenty of time. You got 2:32 to go in the third quarter. This is a high-octane offense. They're used to 75 points. They've got 38 right now. If they can just get a couple more threes to go, I think it's going to put a lot of pressure on UCF to make their shots, and we'll see what they're made of.
Well, to show you the difference in the 2 halves so far, Houston with 19 points in the first half have equaled that amount here in the first 7.5 minutes of the third quarter as we sit here with 2:32 to play in period number 3. However, they've got to get their defense going a little bit because UCF has been very, very steady. 16 in each of the first 2 quarters and already 15 here in the third. So it's one thing to get your offense going, but you got to do it back on the other end as well.
Well, and also take note that Jasmine Harris now has 10 points and Angela Harris has 8, so they're already kind of moving in that direction. So you got to think that they're going to get theirs here in the, probably in the third and fourth quarters because they're turning it up too.
They'll be the reliables here as we go down the stretch for the final 12.5 minutes for Houston. Harris against Wright, the length of the floor.
I think the key is what gear is this defense going to play in because it can play in that, 5th and 6th gear, and they're so tough when they do.
Shot clock down to 10. Baseline kickout goes in the arms of Wright. Now down to 5. Saunders with the runner, no good. Schuler had the rebound tied up. Alternating possession's going to give it to Houston. So good defensive work by Houston. Limited the Knights, I should say, to a tough shot. Fought for the rebound and got the ball back. Oh, threw it away. Mitchell.
A lot more movement, though, by Houston. You can see that they've made some adjustments, and the players are attacking off the dribble and then passing to an open shooter.
Tried to step through the double team and find Harris on the sideline, but
well, that's a gift you don't want to give at this time of the game.
Misdirected there. Turnover number 14 for Houston. Looking for room was Wright. Going to get a blocking foul on Jasmine Harris, just her first. Fifth foul of the quarter.
KK does a good job of attacking here. She punch dribbles, punch dribble, and then kind of draws it.
So Wright with her first trip to the free throw line, 67% on the season for the sophomore.
You know, it's an interesting, you have Angela Harris and Jasmine Harris, and then you have KK Wright and Z Saunders. And those are two of one of the better backcourts in the American, obviously besides UConn and USF, and it's fun to watch them play together. Because when one scores, you know, it takes the pressure off the other person.
14 points for Wright, 12 for Saunders, 11 for Kaba for the Knights. They've done the damage.
Look at the outstretched hands there of KK Wright on the top, making herself big.
1 minute to play here in the third period. 7 to shoot. Harris attacks with the right hand for 2 and 1.
All day she can do that. I mean, she just did a little hesitation crossover and to the rim hard, and she finished. I mean, that's big time stuff.
Dozen points now for Jasmine Harris, the sophomore who has really erupted into one of the premier players in the conference. Makes it an 8-point game at 49-41. She has come alive. 8 points here in the third quarter for Jasmine Harris, 6 for Angela Harris.
A lot of standing around by UCF right now. They switched to a little bit of a zone or a kind of a position man.
Wright got free at the free throw line. Can't get it to go. A rebound tipped around. Who's going to get it? Houston got it. It was Angela Wright, and fouled from behind by Robitaille.
This is the first time I've seen that much of a Robitaille, you know, in the game. I've watched them play 3 or 4 different times.
She's only appeared in the last 3 ball games, injured much of the season, but a freshman they obviously think a lot of. To get her in the rotation this quickly at this critical juncture of the season.
Well, she was in the game the other night and struck one from 3-point range, so I think, you know, she's their lone 3-point shooter.
Well, I was going to say she was a designated gunner because in that ball game she played 1 minute, got up 3 shots, and all were from long range. Angela Harris connects on both free throws to put herself in double figures at 10, and it's now a 6-point game. And Houston's gotten themselves right where they want to here at the end of 3. Big possession here. They need to keep the lead at 6. Don't let momentum slip into UCF's hands in the final 10 seconds. Jamisha Paul for Saunders. In trouble. Jump ball with 1.3 to go. UCF will have it. Ron Huey wanted a traveling call there, but UCF will have a chance to inbound and get a quick shot away here. But good defense for Houston to close out the quarter so far. Ball deflected on the inbounds, and the Cougars close out with a great defensive set and get themselves right back in this ball game. Closing what was a 13-point deficit at halftime and as much as a 16-point lead in the third quarter, down to 6. It's 49-43 UCF. An exciting fourth quarter coming your way after this timeout on ADF.
Power is excitement, energy, an unrelenting spirit. Its success is realized on the court, and its passion is felt in the hearts of players, coaches, and fans. And it all comes together in a conference known as the American. The American Power for Life.
Welcome to college basketball in the American Athletic Conference.
Big time bucket for Obi and Echionia. He got it to go!
Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets in Orlando March 8th to the 11th. Call the Amway Center box office or visit theamerican.org today.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Underway from the American.
Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets March 3rd to the 6th. Call the Mohegan Sun Arena or visit us online to purchase tickets today.
Along with Angela Beck, Tom Franklin here courtside at the H&PE Arena in Houston, where the Houston Cougars trail UCF 49-43. We start the fourth quarter, but momentum with the Cougars, Angela, as they finish the third quarter on an 11-2 run to cut the deficit down to just 6 points. But a key turnover right there, a traveling call against Sarethia Hawkins.
Yeah, turnover-wise, UCF only has 7 turnovers for the game. Houston has 14, now 15, so that's a big part. We talked about taking care of the basketballs. But they made a great run in that quarter, scoring 24 points against a very good defense, so never count Houston out.
Might be one of the highest scoring quarters that UCF has given up all year. Pressing that man-to-man defense, Schuler finds Saunders. The fadeaway is no good. The putback by Kaba rolls out. Rebound taken down by Houston, to foul on Schuler.
Schuler just has gotten the bad end of it all. Just gets another kind of not necessary foul. There was no reason to make that foul right there.
Good follow right here by Kaba, but when the ball falls off, it was Hawkins with a rebound and the foul on Schuler.
Well, when Kaba gets a little more size, as far as physical size, she'll jump stop that and put a power move on that. It was a little quick, and that's why it came out.
Angela Harris with a kick out. The runner by Dorian Branch no good, but she got her own rebound. Three from the right corner is no good. Long rebound to go out of bounds. It belonged to UCF.
Well, the bottom line is, if you're going to shoot that shot, you just got to have the faith, you know, and that's what they've done all year. That's Harris's shot out of the corner, but she just missed it.
We get a foul against Kaba.
No, against Branch or against.
No, they were pushing on Kaba. That's.
Yeah. It was against Sarethia Hawkins.
For Hawkins, that'll be her third. They're pushing on Kaba.
They've had trouble getting the ball in.
They lob it out long, and Schuler runs it down. Drive to the basket, couldn't get the and one.
Well, we don't talk enough about Wilson, but L'Oreal Wilson, she's a strong physical guard. She really, we talk about Saunders and we talk about Wright, but Wilson, she's the real deal too.
Jasmine Harris picked up the foul on that drive. We're going to kick ball on the inbounds pass. So we'll stay here with UCF. 8:41 left in the game. Still looking for our first points of the fourth quarter. It was a pretty intense finish to the third quarter. Kind of lost its energy with the timeout between periods. Saunders with a 10-footer is good. Tough shot by Zakiya Saunders. with 14 now in the game.
Well, she has great touch on her little bunny shots there, and nice lift and good touch.
Jasmine Harris, he'll play the floater. See, you can do it, I can do it too.
Well, she can do it pretty much whenever she wants, and she needs to do a lot more of that as time goes through.
15 points now for Jasmine Harris to lead all scores. Wright with the kick out to Saunders. Can't get the shot away. Wright will take the 12-footer from the baseline.
Well, they passed up the first shot to get the second shot, but they need to pay attention to Jasmine Harris right here and give a lot of help to her.
Hawkins misses on the 18-footer. Nothing but air.
That's not what they want. That is not what they want. They want her underneath. Take note of that because they have to get good possessions here.
Fourth quarter, when you're trying to make up a lead, every time you possess the ball, it's crucial you cash in. Cougars haven't done it but once here so far in the third quarter. Kaba triple team to pass out to Saunders, shuffled the feet.
Yeah, they really dove down on the post and she found the open man, but that's one of the few errors that Saunders has made tonight, so I'm sure the coach will be okay with it.
Mariah Mitchell checks out.
Mitchell had a good defensive effort when she was in there.
Maya West comes back in. West had the hot start for Houston at 8 points all in the first quarter. Hasn't been heard from since. UCF plays their defensive principles. Jasmine Harris, what a move through the lane and finish.
And did I say she's only a freshman?
Sophomore.
Is she?
Yeah. She made the all-freshman team last year. I think that's a misprint on one of their things. I might be wrong. I've been known to do that. Here's Jasmine again, had the ball stripped away by L'Oreal Wilson. Depends on which sheet you look at from the Houston Media Department. One has her as a freshman, one has her as a sophomore. Nice no-look pass. They tried to feed. Maya West coming down low. Shot underneath by Hawkins is blocked. And we get a foul on the Carroll.
Well, the official closest to the Houston bench got that one. They were all over him.
And it's on Kaba. That'll be her fourth. That'll put Hawkins to the free throw line.
That's a big foul on Kaba there.
6:27 to play. And Hawkins can't spin the free throw in. 71% on the year from the line. Kaba will check out. As they'll go a little small as Thigpen comes back in.
Yeah, Thigpen's, she's a utility player. She plays post and guard for them.
Oh, two key misses for Hawkins. But Houston got the rebound. Jasmine Harris drew the foul on Wright.
Well, Harris, she was big time in there that time. She pushed him under a little bit and got the offensive board.
Second personal against KK Wright. Houston maintains possession.
Houston keeps attacking. They've got another level here that they can still go.
Angela Harris underneath, tried to pass out, ball deflected. Hawkins has got it and will finish. Houston back to within 4, and it hasn't been like that since the first quarter. Under 6 to play. You can see a little more hop in the step of the Cougars here, Angela. UCF is the tired-looking team right now. McGregory with the answer. Tough shot, a big shot there.
Good execution by UCF, but yes, you're right. Momentum right now is going towards the Houston way.
Angela Harris!
That's what Coach Healy wants you, just to catch it and fire it up.
Her second three of the ball game, and the Cougars are within 3. 5:25 left here in the fourth quarter. Two teams fighting for a first-round bye, and next weekend's American postseason tournament going right down to the wire. UCF 55 and Houston 52. The finish coming your way after this timeout.
We are underway from the American.
Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets March 3rd to the 6th. Call the Mohegan Sun Arena or visit us online to purchase tickets today.
Power is excitement, energy, an unrelenting spirit. Its success is realized on the court, and its passion is felt in the hearts of players, coaches, and fans. And it all comes together in a conference known as the American. The American Power for Life. Student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
5 minutes, 25 seconds to go. Houston has chopped what was a 16-point deficit down to 3 at 55-52 here in the fourth quarter at the H&PE Arena. Houston in the first half shot just 7 of 24. In the second half, they are 12 of 20, including 5 of 10 from long range. The shooting has gotten them right back in this ball game, but they've also played well at the other end as well, Angela.
Yeah, they have, and they basically have equaled out most of the categories. They also have 30 points from their bench, which is pretty uncategorically not them, and they've got 30 extra points coming.
So UCF with the basketball.
Coming out in a zone, first time.
Saunders.
Not a bad idea.
Oh, Jasmine Harris with the deflection and steal. She'll take it strong. Finish in one.
Well, that's a good-looking zone because what you have is you have your best defender, Jasmine Harris, at the top of the zone, knifing it and finishing it, and one.
Saunders with the blow-by. Tried to stop it, could not, picked up her second foul, and now Jasmine Harris with the old-fashioned three-point play ties the game at 55 with 5:07 to go. She now has 20 points in the ball game.
Well, when we talked about her getting her points, you got to believe she is going to, and she has by attacking that basket.
Well, the Harrises have come alive here in the second half for Houston. And a foul over the back, and Saunders picks up another one. They're just going to call it out of bounds. Just out of bounds. But only 7 points in the first half for Jasmine and Angela Harris. They have combined for 26 here in the second half. 20 points for Jasmine Harris to lead all scorers. Angela with 13, including a couple of big three balls. They kind of ignited this run for Houston in the third quarter. They did call the foul on Saunders. The way they were standing around, they were waiting to mop up the floor, and Saunders got her third foul.
Yeah, that's 2 back-to-back fouls by Saunders. She's probably getting a little bit frustrated.
Angela Harris rims out the free throw, so we stay tied at 55. She's a 65% free throw shooter. And give Houston their first lead in a long time. Does with a second.
That's a big-time comeback here by Houston. Now, can they sustain it? Little 1-2-2 zone.
Houston had only led for 52 seconds in the ball game until now. Right around the defense, dishes off on the wing. Whoa, airmailing was Gregory. Loose ball comes out, however. Thigpen with the finish.
Well, that's a
gift.
Yeah, definitely.
Takeaway thrown in by Saunders and saved by Gregory.
That's an athletic move by Saunders.
Wright had the ball poked away from behind. On the floor is Hawkins. They're going to call jump ball. It'll go to UCF with 4:10 left. And the Knights with a 1-point lead. We'll get the mops out here. Wipe up the perspiration. Frank Sterator conveying it to the scorer's table, making sure we didn't call a foul. We called jump ball, alternating possession. Stays with UCF, and they'll have a new 30 on the clock.
An interesting move, bringing Harris back in for Gregory. Wilson in for Gregory.
Well, Wilson, as you mentioned, has been the far more effective player up and down the floor in today's game anyway. Saunders got it into Schuler. Saunders, 10-footer in the lane, money. Can't give her that shot.
That's a nice little screen play for her to come off it and get in the middle and get that little jumper she loves.
Back to a 3-point lead for UCF. So they were down by a point for a minute, but that's about all. Offensive foul down low. Going to be called against Maya West.
Well, you don't usually get mad at your players when you're trying to fight for position.
That'll be her third foul.
It's a costly error, but, Houston's capable of taking a shot and tying it, so.
They got to do it on the defensive end. Saunders from 18. Couldn't get the roll, but the rebound comes out to Thigpen. And new life for UCF. Big offensive rebound there.
They have a lot of patience in their offense. They want to get the kind of shot they want.
3 for Saunders, no good. Long rebound. Corralled by Hawkins, and Houston with new life with 2:50 to go.
A team with a little less patience, but more just as effective right there.
Floater by Hawkins is good. She's in double figures with 10, and it's a 1-point game with 2:35 to go.
Hawkins has had a very strong game tonight, very effective on both ends of the floor.
10 points in the game to be the third Cougar in double figures behind the Harrises.
Z is a little bit, Saunders is a little short on her jumper. She's a little tired, so she needs to pull that through right now.
Wright will attack, but got turned away. Shot clock at 1. Violation, didn't get it away in time. Good defense, Houston. And that's going to bring Kaba back in the ball game for Thigpen.
Thigpen had some effective minutes. She's come off the bench and given them a couple different buckets and key offensive rebound.
Right. 59-58, 2 minutes to play. Can Houston come from 16 down for another cardiac victory?
That's what they call them, the cardiac Cougs. They lull you to sleep and then shift their gear and dominate.
Off the weave, Jasmine Harris for Angela Harris for the lead. Couldn't get it to go, and Saunders has the rebound. She gets it away from traffic. Minute and a half to play. UCF will not relinquish the lead. Here's Saunders. She's been the key. Much more so than Wright. She's been the dominant player on the ball here in the second half especially. Shot clock at 3, at 2, at 1. Another shot clock violation. One referee says good, one referee says no. It was very, very close. They're probably going to have to check this on the monitor.
Look for a replay right here. Yeah, so clock's winding down. I can't see the clock right now with the replay. Yeah, it's too hard to tell from here.
Well, the officials have their own replay monitor just to our side. And with ours, we didn't really have a good look at where the clock was.
What
if the red lights went on, but that would be a huge three-pointer.
What a bucket that would be if that goes down. 1 minute 9. Now, what do you do if it's Houston? If it doesn't go down, you got possession of the ball. I like to call a 2-for-1 because you have the shot clock come down and get a quick one, and that way you can have the last shot of the game and you can go 2-for-1. I'm pretty sure they'll do it anyway because they're pretty quick in how they shoot. But so as the shot goes up, let's look at the live.
Let's see if we can catch it in our monitor.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't see the replay yet.
Officials are going to borrow our camera to see.
Yeah, the officials are borrowing our camera to look at this replay.
It's really hard to see the light on the backboard, and that's the critical part. We don't have the shot clock superimposed.
The official behind her says it's good, but nevertheless, good defense by Houston to make them run the shot clock down to that.
See if we can wind it up one more time. We see the officials looking at their monitor and see if their angle is any different than ours.
Yeah, the officials are over here near our booth, just trying to find the right angle for the shot. Fortunately, the shot clock is just cut off for our
yeah, you can't see either the shot clock or the lights of the backboard, because when the clock gets 0, the red lights go up on the backboard, and you can't really pick it up from the side view.
So as both teams sit there and talk about what they want to do, we'll listen to the officials. If it's indisputable, I don't know if they have a good enough look to say it's no good.
They're going to call it good. Three-pointer is good. Watch it again here.
No.
So they call it a good three, and a huge three by KK Wright to give her 19 and make this a 4-point game at 62-58 with 1:09 left.
That's a tough call right there.
Down to a minute to play. Houston needs to have urgency. Hawkins to the basket, too strong. The putback by West is no good, but she'll go to the free throw line.
Good effort by Houston that time to get the ball to the rim and get the putback by West, who's had a great game tonight.
And Cabo will foul out with 11 points in the game.
Well, Cabo had a great night for him. She was definitely big inside, had 11 points.
9 rebounds, nearly a double-double. That'll bring Thigpen back in. for the Knights. And big free throws now for Maya West, who was very active in the game early on, but has been very, very quiet since then. 4 out of 6 from the free throw line as part of her 8 points. West, the junior out of Prentice, Mississippi.
Well, look for a full court press here by Houston to jam the ball up. They missed some critical free throws here.
Houston from the line now 10 of 16. 1 out of 2, so it's a one possession game. 62-59 and a timeout call.
So now, basically, we're down to crunch time here. Look for KK Wright and Z Saunders to lead it and, you know, probably stall it out a little bit. I expect Houston to come after him. Even though it's only a one possession game, it is 3 points. So I think they'll probably not try to foul him, but they're going to try to go after it full court.
I would think you're right. You're going to pressure them all the way up the floor. If you get the 30 seconds off the clock with no points, you still have roughly 23, 24 seconds to go. That's plenty of time to get yourself a potential tying 3, or you can get into the free throw game if you want. After that, make it a 1-point game. But first things first, you got to stop and not give up any points here. They find Wright.
Coach is snapping her fingers like, get it over half court.
Did with plenty of time. Wright being hounded way away from the basket. Now it finds Saunders on the right side. The veteran, the fifth-year senior. Wilson attacks. Offensive foul. L'Oreal Wilson.
She's gotten banged up pretty much.
Watch it again. Good position there by Angela Harris. She was there in plenty of time. For Wilson, that's her 3rd foul. We're getting a timeout called. With 30.4 to go.
Well, obviously, I say Jasmine Harris is the go-to. You got plenty of time.
Do you give the ball to Jasmine, let her attack?
No, I wouldn't give it to her. I'd give it to Angela and then find her coming off the screen or find her coming, but that's not how I think they'll have her back there somewhere. And she'll probably create, and he'll probably say if they close out on you, get to the rim, which she's been so effective in, draw the foul, she could get a 3 that way too.
Right.
So she's dangerous either way, and I look for her or Angela to make that happen.
See where the Harrises are, as Hawkins will be the person to pull the trigger on the inbounds. They get it to Jasmine. Angela's on the other side of the floor. And now Angela's got it. 20 seconds to go. Houston down 3. Here's West trying to attack. Shovels it up, no good. Rebound comes down to Thigpen. They got a foul her, and they do with 9 seconds to go. Foul's going to be on Angela Harris, her 4th. Watch it here. West got around the contact. Thigpen there for the rebound. You couldn't, and there's the reach in by Angela Harris for her 4th foul.
Well, that's a tough situation. I don't think that's what he wanted to draw up. You know, obviously you want your key players to take that shot, and unfortunately they came up short. But right now, I mean, basically Houston's got to come out and get a quick foul.
They love a steal. Nothing more than a steal right now.
If they can't steal it, they've got to get a quick foul. Hopefully not put their better free throw shooters on the line. Like I said, UCF is not a great free throw shooting team. Most of them shoot in the 60s. KK Wright shoots about 69.
Saunders is 71%, probably the best of the people who are going to handle the ball. Gregory's is 73.
Well, Gregory hasn't had a great night, so she's a little cold. So I don't know if obviously I don't know if I'd want her to be the one shooting it, but they're going to get it at half court, which is a good decision by UCF.
They get it at the hash mark. As they move the ball up, much like the NBA.
They've got Harris on the inbouncer, Jasmine Harris, because of her vertical and her ability to steal it.
Saunders gets it in for Schuler. They foul Schuler immediately. It's West with a foul, her fourth.
Well, Schuler's shooting 44% for the year.
That's a good person to call on, and she's been pretty much a non-factor offensively today, so no real rhythm for her with the game. So
yeah, I'm surprised they got the ball to Schuler. Maybe they know something we don't know. Big bucket.
Calm, cool, and collected with that one. Makes it a 4-point game. Earned her bachelor degree in August, wants to be a pediatrician. 2 for 2. Like nothing to it for Nyla Schuler. 8.5 seconds to go. And it's now a 5-point lead for UCF.
Well, I've seen it still happen. You know,
stranger things have happened. You're right.
Never say never because of the way you can take the timeout and move the possession of the ball like this. So, I mean, if they could get a quick shot, which they can, and they always do, and make it, you never know.
You had, if she would have only made one, you might have had a little hope on a 4-point play, getting a foul on a 3-point shot. But 5-point plays, I haven't heard of any of those.
No, but it's 8.5 seconds. So, you're going to have the ball right here. You get a quick shot in 2 seconds. You either foul the inbounds or you steal it and you lay it up. So there's a lot of great things that can still happen.
But the odds are against Houston. A valiant comeback bid. Right now being a little short. They did gain the lead for a moment here in the fourth period.
Well, I think UCF's ability not to turn the ball over is a big key in this game. They have not had a lot of turnovers.
Well, they've got 12 to Houston's 17.
Yeah, 12 turnovers in this kind of pressure all day.
They average 15.5 on the season, so they're below their season average. They got to get it in. Find somebody. Find Jasmine Harris on the wing. The 3-ball blocked by Wilson. Branch tried the 3, and Wilson said, emphatically knocking that one out. Now we're down to 4.5 left. They lob it off. Angela Harris, deep 3, short. Rebound taken away by Saunders, and UCF will hold on for a big victory here in Houston over the Houston Cougars. Our final score is 64-59. UCF now 19-9 on the season. Houston with back-to-back losses this week falls to 20-9. UCF with their 11th conference win in 15 games will sew up a first-round bye. Houston falling to 9-6 on the year, depending the outcome of Cincinnati's game tonight. They play Cincinnati on Monday in the regular season finale, so Houston still with a chance at the number 4 spot. Cincinnati will be at second place, USF tonight. So a lot of action still to be figured out here in the American Conference. We'll see if Angela can get a word with the winning coach, Katie Abramson Henderson, here for just a moment. To wrap things up from the H&PE Arena, the alma mater for Houston being played here by the Pep Band. KK Wright will be over there as well. Angela's ready with KK Wright. 19 big points to lead the Knights to this tough victory today.
Fight tonight or this afternoon. What did you think about it?
We just knew this is our next biggest game. We have to go in and fight every second of the game.
You seem like you were the emotional leader. There's several times that you were like, come on, let's go. What brought that out in you?
Through everything, we just knew we had to stay poised. We knew they were going to be crazy, jacked up, playing man-to-man hard. We just had to be poised and just run our sets, and, we knew the outcome would be good.
What's so tough about playing Houston?
They're identical to us, They get up, they press all game, they're physical, they attack just like we do, so it's always a good challenge playing them.
Well, good luck to you in the tournament.
Okay, thank you.
KK Wright finishing up the ball game. Now we get a minute here with Coach Abramson. Yeah, let's talk to Coach Abramson.
Coach, congratulations. What a game, one of the best games I've seen in the American. Tell me about it.
I think we play a lot alike. I mean, they play defense like us, and they play offense like USF. To me, I mean, he's done such a great job with them, and so we just I think we had a lot more poise. I mean, we are upperclassmen on our team, and so I think our poise was really good, and you know, we just finished the game. We've been in a lot of close games, so I think that's really helped us.
How big was this three that was under review here for a while?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, we never get that lucky, so we got lucky that time, and I'm proud of them. They just stayed the course, and you know, everybody. I thought L'Oreal played great. She was a nice spark off the bench, and I thought our freshmen played great in the post in the first half when Moss and Nye were in foul trouble. So my whole team stepped up, and that's really important. We need everybody stepping up, and before the game I said we need some X factors, and so we had some good X factors today.
What does this mean to your postseason play?
Well, I don't know yet. We got one more, and it's going to be a quick turnaround. It's one day. We got to play ECU. They're fighting for a seed too, and so, you know, we're just going to work on that game. We're going to celebrate this because this was a big victory against this really good team.
Well, congratulations, Coach. Good luck in the tournament.
Thank you.
All right, Angela, thanks very much. Well, Wednesday night, UCF held Memphis to 40 points for the game. Houston got 40 in the second half, but it wasn't enough to overcome a 13-point deficit at the intermission, and UCF wins it by a score of 64-59. So that's going to do it tonight. UCF finishing up at 19-9 on the season, now 10-5 in league play with 1 to go. Houston at 20-9 and 9-6 in American Conference action. So for Angela Beck and our entire crew, this is Tom Franklin saying thanks for joining us here along the American Digital Network.
We are underway from the American.
Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets March 3rd to the 6th. Call the Mohegan Sun Arena or visit us online to purchase tickets today.
Power is excitement, energy, an unrelenting spirit. Its success is realized on the court, and its passion is felt in the hearts of players, coaches, and fans. And it all comes together in a conference known as the American. The American Power for Life. Student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.